I'm Albert Dros and here are some great composition techniques for your landscape photos. Sometimes less is more. Don't overload the image. Focus on what's important in the frame. Focus on the subject. Here we have actually a lot of stuff. It's very inviting to capture all of the rocks around us, but here for me the lighthouse and the spectacular high rocks, that's the subject and that's where I focus on. First, I always try to use leading lines in my photo. Very easy, from a corner of the frame leading you into the image. Make sure that the lines don't go out of the image but nicely into the image. A leading line can be anything. It can be a rock, it can be flowers, it can be a path, but leading lines often very nice in a photo to direct the viewer's eye. I often get a little bit lower for that as well, so not on eye height but a little bit lower to the ground, especially with the wide angle. Even small lines get very big in the image with the wide angle shot, so don't shoot from eye height but also get a little bit lower to get those strong leading lines in the photo. Next is layers. You can turn on the rule of thirds grid on your camera. If it's not turned on, then you see the lines and it helps you to define layers in your photo. Layer of sky, layer of foreground. And what is very useful is if you move down, the layers get compressed more. If you go up, you get more separation between the layers. So sometimes just moving up or down can make a big difference in your photo. Make sure that there are no distracting elements at the edges and the corners of the image. Give everything a little bit breathing space. Don't put a tree right at the edge of the frame. It's very distracting. Make sure the edges are kind of clean so that you don't get this kind of cramped feeling. And that brings me also to the next tip is don't overload your images with lots of stuff in it. You focus on the subject, you look at the leading lines, and that's usually the only thing you need to have. So it can be that you see something really amazing happening, like a rainbow or something, but then there's a subject on the other side. You're shooting super wide, you put everything in, but there's no real harmony in the image. So often it's less is more. You focus on the subject and you work around that to complete your image. That also brings me to the next tip. I often want to get very close to my foreground. So I get close and low. I use a wide angle lens, and with close I don't mean like 2 or 3 meters. No. I go like 20, 30 centimeters, and if you go that close to a foreground with your wide angle lens, you will see really nice like dimensional things happening. It's almost like a viewer is in the image. And then I also often use a technique called focus stacking, because if you get super close to the foreground, let's say you're getting super close to a rock or a little waterfall in the foreground, if you focus on that, you take the shot, the background will be out of focus, even if you're shooting f14 or f16, because we are so close. So then I just take 1, 2, 3, 4, sometimes more shots to get everything in focus, all the layers in focus, and get this image sharp from front to back. If you want to learn how to do focus stacking and want to see how that works, I have a video on YouTube. You can click it right here. Hope you liked the video. If you want to know more about my signature Parka Pro jacket, check the link in the description below. If you have any questions, put them in the comments. Like, subscribe to the channel, and see you next time.
Haukland Photographer's Clothing.